pode ficar tranquilo.
Was it by the window?
So everybody welcome on the boat on this, what's it, Monday afternoon. So great that you are here. So we're going to have a nice canal cruise through the city center of Amsterdam. And it's going to take around an hour. So I already passed by everybody for the audio guide, so I don't have to explain anything, hopefully. If you need to go to the toilet, in the back of the boat is a toilet that you can use. And yeah, enjoy the city. It's beautiful, it's nice. Make nice photos and enjoy it. If you have a question, just come to me. I can try to answer all your questions. Also, yeah, think of each other, because I know it's always nice to talk and call your friends on the phone and whatever else. Yeah, you're not the only one on the boat, so please think of each other when the audio guide is on, alright? For the rest, have a great tour, enjoy it.
Ik weet niet waar je foto's staan.
Bendels.
Foto's. Hij stond gewoon goed, alleen ging hij niet aan. Jij drukte weer helemaal verkeerd.
Então tinha pedaço pra mim, não quero morder daí não.
Ja, dat heb ik al 30 keer geprobeerd.
Nou, dan doen we gewoon luisteren.
Que bom.
Nou, de wedstrijd, hè?
Maar doe je dat niet? Ja, je moet hem niet. Hij pakt hem niet. Hij kan niet. Ja.
Die andere niet?
Nee, want dat is voor wifi. Gaat even
Wifi mag er ook.
Ja, gaat wel.
On va taper au bateau. Pourquoi?
Si on passe par là, si on va la voir.
Non, elle va aller voir à pied.
Mais non, on passera pas la maison, on va y passer à voiture. Elle a dit c'est pour ça.
Si on passe voir, je crois. On a 1 heure.
Ja, ja, ze komen ook.
Now, fast forward a few hundred years. Amsterdam has grown to by complete new dikes, ditches, and canals to control the sea level. Even this far back in time, it was an important trading hub. Ships sailed back and forth across the Baltic Sea carrying grain, cloth, wood, and salt. The original wall of Amsterdam would have been more rough. During the Middle Ages, a moat, now called a single, encircled the city. The church used to be the St. Nicholas, was built centuries later. Named after the patron saint of Sweden, it stood over the harbor. Also to the right is the 14th century Schreier's Town. This house got its name from the stairway or sharp corner formed by the same walls that met.
Look to the left. Was here during medieval times. Over the centuries, much of the land around us was rented from the sea. To reclaim this quota, or land that was once covered by lakes and seas, investors Amsterdam built dikes and used windmills and pumps to get rid of unwanted water. And they've done an amazing and ingenious job of it. When it comes to controlling sea levels, the Netherlands takes the lead worldwide.
Olha que lá.
Shows that you can drink them now. It's a glass took water. You can drink it.
A group of shipping companies left their business for this early 20th century
Andere woont uit, dus 7 wacht.
style of architecture. The front of the building is impressively adorned with statues of Nesse, his wife, and 4 figures that represent the points of time. The building is decorated inside and out with all kinds of nautical symbols, anchors, ships, and famous Dutch mariners.
Pegação?
Now, 5-star level hotels.
Hoje é uma festa.
Die nog even.
Le statut de Neptune qui est.
J'aime beaucoup. J'aime à quelqu'un. Wil je niet in het aanrijden?
Ah, não. Oh, that's okay. I'll just put it in front of your face.
I took that. I took that. I go to it before.
Vas-y, je suis en train de dormir, je pense qu'elle va
Hier wonen ook allemaal mensen.
Qualquer um.
Zulke mooi.
Símbolos.
We're now traveling along what was once the outer defense wall of the city. The original city boundary was to the right, to the left, salt marsh and the North Sea. The red brick tower coming up ahead of us is the medieval Model Bondstore. An ideal lookout for sighting potential invaders, it was built to protect the city's shipyards, wharves, and warehouses from attack. From here, Dutch soldiers armed with longbows, crossbows, and early firearms called arquebuses kept watch over the wide expanses below.
The tower's white spire and clocks were added a century later. They were designed by Hendrik de Keyser, an architect whose work can be seen around Amsterdam, and who you're certain to hear more about on this cruise. The clocks couldn't keep time, and the tower's bells rang out randomly, so locals gave it the nickname Silly Jack.
Not long after the spire and clocks were added, the tower began to list to one side. With some effort, it was pulled to rights. You might be wondering why so many buildings in the city tip to one side or the other. The ground in Amsterdam, a mix of peat, sand, and soil, is very soft. Because of this, buildings were generally designed to be as light as possible. None were very tall, and they often had lots of windows. For stability, they were built on a bed of wooden piles driven as deep as 15 meters, that's 45 feet, into the ground. But if these piles were exposed to the air, they began to rot, and the buildings they supported sank and shifted. Today, water levels in and around the city are carefully controlled to minimize rot. When new piles are needed, they're made of concrete. Still, you'll see many a house with a sideways sill.
The Montalban story was a place where sailors gathered before setting out to sea. The journeys were long and difficult, and not everyone returned. Legend has it that Lucius and Mama also came here
Local onde
to
o quê?
say goodbye.
Os marinheiros se encontravam antes de ir pro mar.
Je gaat een beetje omheen kijken, dan zie je straks niks.
We are now on the Odishan, or Outer Trench Canal. During the 16th century, it served as a defense canal. All the city's canals served one or more of these functions, as a transportation route, a line of defense, or a way to manage water level. The Odishans, because of its size and location, did all of these. Because it was one of the only canals wide enough for large ships to sail, and because of its proximity to the harbor, the Odishans became a convenient place to unload cargo.
Tá frio?
Sorry?
This weather.
Beautiful. We're lucky it's not raining. Yeah.
Uhum.
Por que a gente comeu picante hoje? Você não gosta de tudo, pai.
Olha, aquele hambúrguer não era picante, né? Porque não gostava dele.
These boats must be very well sealed.
É?
Can't even begin to imagine what it's like in winter.
Onde? Deve também.
Aqui é onde a cidade é mais pura. Fica na
Maar
foto.
uitkijken dat alles eruit valt. Dan moet je niet
Ik wil foto's maken, maar dat kan niet, want ik heb deze stomme kaart. Mag ik?
Really?
Ja.
Als je die kaart van de zo heeft.
Nee, deze.
Hoezo? Je kun je wel wegduwen.
Ja.
Je kan foto's
Wil je
maken.
luisteren?
Ja, dan kun je gewoon wegduwen. Dan kun je gewoon op foto's openen.
The small tippy black building was once the lodge business. It's now a pub and cafe full of 17th century charm, stone floors, wooden benches, and exposed seating areas. Its outdoor patio is a great place for watching boats on the canal.
Kijk, het is een klein huisje. Dat is leuk.
Controlam a quantidade de água dos canais. Ai, tem uma mini igreja.
Volgens mij komen we er zo net bij Moskowitz. Moskowitz had eens aangepraat. Dat was op tv. Die woont zo
Wie?
Ja, Moskowitz.
Ken ik niet.
Dat was op tv. Naast de kaart. Zo ergens links moet zijn.
We're now approaching the Waterloo Plain. It's located adjacent to the city halls, the large red brick building. The original Waterloo Plain was an island built in the 17th century to create space for Jewish settlers. At the time, it was called Vlienberg, or Flooding Island. Over time, the name morphed into Vloyenberg, or Flea Island, and the bustling market held here was called the Flea Market.
For centuries, Jewish traders sold their wares here. The market continues to operate and is now known as the largest flea market in the Netherlands.
Lugar mais pobre.
Não, onde tem muito mercado. Onde realiza vendas de segunda mão. É o mercado das pulgas.
Que nem o do Game of Thrones.
Ai, tem umas casinhas gracinhas ali.
Really?
Ó, isso é privado. Quanto será que não é essa brincadeira?
São 50 euros.
Que gracinha essa casinha. Iets vreemd.
Bravo.
We're now on the Amstel River. The round white-faced building you see next to the City Hall is the Muziek Theater, or Music Theater. It's home to the Dutch Opera, known for its daring productions, the Holland Sinfonia, and the world-renowned Dutch National Ballet. The Dutch may be known for their tolerant attitudes, but they also have strong opinions. This piece of architecture was met with heavy protests that have since simmered down. In fact, that's how it got its name, Stopera. It's derived from the movement against the construction, Stop the Opera.
Derivado do movimento contra a construção Stop the Opera.
Não pague a ópera.
Muito tempo, por muito tempo quiseram realmente falar. Não só aqui.
The Magere Brug, otherwise referred to as the famous Skinny Bridge, stretches all the way across the Amstel River. Of Amsterdam's 1,500 or so bridges, this is the most famous. It dates back to the 17th century and was likely a narrow footbridge. Since then, it's been reconstructed more than once and grown wider with age. Legend has it that whoever you kiss while passing under the bridge will be your true love for life.
Yeah, it's that bridge.
É aqui mesmo.
And the legend says that when you kiss a person, that person will be a true love for life. I can tell you that it's not working. I kissed my girlfriend 2 years ago underneath the bridge. She's my ex-wife now, so...
Ele passou com a mulher dele 2 anos atrás, agora ela é ex-esposa.
Do you see? There is also a stage that they are building. Do you see that? That's because tomorrow we have Liberation Day, so there's going to be some celebrations in the city. So if we are celebrating that we don't speak German, not that our language isn't much more beautiful than that, but it's also that hard. But we are celebrating that we got liberated the 5th of May, and there they build a stage always in the Amstel River, and then we have a concert, and our king and queen will come, and the royal family and the rest of them, and they're gonna have a concert, and probably at some other places in the city there will be some other things to do. So enjoy it. At the Dam Square we're gonna have the remembrance. So you're gonna have these veterans that gonna come and put flowers near the monument on the Dam Square.
Dan zie je een podium natuurlijk onderdoor. Daar zit ook carré, boven zie je er staan. Carré. Dus dit denk ik de Herengracht. Hier zit hij allemaal schokjes, advocaat.
We're now on Herengracht, or the Gentleman's Canal. It was part of a careful plan to expand the city. In the early 17th century, a time of tremendous physical and economic growth, 3 new canals were laid out in concentric rings. The Herengracht was innermost. The Keizersgracht, or Emperor's Canal, was in the middle, followed by the Prinsengracht, or the Prince's Canal.
The wealthiest citizens, shipbuilders, merchants, investors, and politicians built elegant mansions on the Herengracht. The Keizersgracht was solidly middle class, while the Prinsengracht had a more industrial atmosphere. Of the three canals, the Prinsengracht was the only one that connected directly to the harbor, and its low sides were designed for loading and unloading cargo.
And so, the farther you lived from the city center, the lower your social class. Today, this would no longer hold true. All of the city center is expensive.
So the average price in Amsterdam is around 10,000 euros the square meter. On this canal, a little bit further we come to the Golden Bend. That's the most expensive part, and that's around, it can vary between 10 and 20,000 euros the square meter. So if you want a normal house with your, well, for us it's normal to have 100 square meters. You're gonna pay on average in Amsterdam €1 million for a, that's maybe a 3-4 room apartment. So if you look here, 6 buildings, and this is the most expensive 5-star hotel in the Netherlands, the Waldorf Astoria, and they own 6 buildings, and this is where all the famous people come. We also have a 6-star hotel in Amsterdam now, the first 6-star hotel of Europe, the Rosewood Hotel. But they have this is the most expensive 5-star hotel of the Netherlands. 25,000 for the most expensive room. And yeah, famous people come in, politicians, Clinton, many more from the Epstein list, but those names we don't know.
Falou que o Epstein também vinha aqui.
Get your camera ready. We're about to pass by one of the most photographed views in Amsterdam. The 7 arched bridges over Reguliersgracht, or Reguliers Canal. This beautiful and unique view of all 7 bridges at once can only be seen from here, on waters of the Herengracht. Our kind captain will be slowing down to give everyone a chance to catch a photo of this unique sight.
Quem já passar com aquela bicicleta?
Mas il y en a un, apparemment ils sont pas les uns les autres. Enfin, genre il y a de la file. Et tu vois pas le résultat. Maintenant, ça direct. Donc si elle se met, ah mais c'est là en fait, c'est là où j'ai mis, je crois. Ouais, c'est
Hier zit hij uit KV, volgens mij in Moskowitz.
While nobles ruled elsewhere in Europe, here in Amsterdam, it was the self-made merchants. During the 17th century, they were earning as much as 700,000 euros a month. That's more than the average rich person earns today. The wealthiest of the wealthy lived here, on the Herengracht.
Today, almost all of these mansions are used for business, as people can no longer afford to live in them. An exception is the city's mayor, whose official residence is at number 502 Herengracht. Look for the gray facade with white columns just before the bridge.
The golden age of the 17th century was a stellar time for Amsterdam. From politics and the economy to arts and science, everything flourished. And the city was now the most important trade center in Europe. There are many reasons for Amsterdam's astounding success. It had the largest and most progressive shipbuilding industry in Europe. Dutch traders sailed farther than anyone else to newly discovered lands in the Far East and to North and South America. They organized into companies like the Dutch East Indian Company and the Dutch West Indian Company. And the profits from trading staples like grain and exotics such as spices, porcelain, precious stones, and textiles were enormous.
Now let's slip back in time to the 17th century. Imagine a colorful scene. Gentlemen in fine clothing on the street, speaking different languages. Elegantly outfitted ladies stepping down into horse-pulled carriages. The clatter of wheels on cobblestones. And dare we mention it? An unpleasant waft of sewage coming from the canals.
Building restrictions limited houses to a width of no more than 6 meters, or 18 feet. But those who could afford got around this by buying 2 adjacent lots and building a double house. Some of these double homes even had 2 different facades. There was no restriction on depth, and with 20 to 40 rooms, a large private garden, and a coach house behind that, mansions often stretched all the way over to the next street.
We're now at the so-called Golden Bend of the Herengracht, the most lavish section of all. Imagine going into one of these sumptuous homes. On the first floor, an elegant entrance hall with marble floors, high ceilings, and chandeliers. Mirrors were strategically positioned to create an illusion of even more space. And single-lot houses would often have a fake door on the side of the entryway to make them appear bigger than they were.
Rooms were richly decorated with painted wallpaper, oil paintings, fine sculptures, and exotics such as Turkish rugs and Persian silks. In the second half of the 17th century, Parisian furniture, Louis XVI style, was very much in vogue.
As a gentleman, you might join your host in a deep-colored smoking room. A lady, your hostess would receive you in a light blue salon or tea room. Here, you'd sip imported tea from China while looking out over a beautifully manicured garden. Musical concerts and grand parties were common, and each house had many rooms dedicated to entertaining. For a first-hand glimpse of life inside an opulent canal house, there are several museums in the area, including the Lopenhouse and the Villa House.
On avait cherché près de notre réserve, il y avait un action comme ça. On a fait acheter un cadenas avec les 2 et puis il fallait assez de vite pour qu'ils s'en jeter et regarder. Ah ouais.
Ok. Là.
Non, et garder une chacun. Non, mais déjà à la poubelle. Bah oui, j'ai dit, c'est où la cadenas. On avait écrit notre date et on avait mis ça dessus. Et on avait jeté une clé dans l'eau et on avait gardé une chacun. Mais je suis plus avec lui, je ne peux pas garder la clé, c'est ça. On ne sait jamais, un jour peut-être. Attends, je vais remonter là, je vais dire ça. Oui, je sais plus.
Cadê o tripé? Cadê o tripé?
Non, il n'y a rien à voir ici. Regarde, tu vois, j'ai tout le petit truc d'enregistrer, tu vois, sur le plan. Mais ici, il y a rien.
Olha isso daqui.
Non, je suis pas sûre qu'on passerait devant la maison parce qu'on n'est pas sur le même. Genre, elle est là. Mais moi, quand j'avais fait le même, c'est passé. Regarde, on n'est pas sur le même canal. La maison, elle est bah, ouais. Un peu petit.
frequenze che hai mai dato.
Te vazio.
Spingi con carta con queste carte. C'è la
As we pass by these richly decorated canal houses, there's so much to notice. So many flourishes and details, ornate door cases, sculptures, and of course the decorative gables at the roofline.
There are several different types of gables, and over the decades, they've gone in and out of fashion. See if you can spot them all. The oldest type is the spout gable. This basic triangular shape is seen only on warehouses. The 17th century step gable looks just as you'd expect, a series of steps. The neck gable, with its straight up and down sides and scrollwork decorations, came a bit later, followed by the bell gable, which has a more rounded, bell-like shape. By the 18th century, the cornice, a flat-topped gable, was most popular.
There's one thing that all gables have in common: the hoisting beam. Staircases were so narrow and steep that furniture and goods were lifted to the upper floors via the hoisting beam, along with a good strong rope, a hook, and a pulley. Goods were generally stored up high to keep them dry during the city's frequent floods. There's a strong tradition of moving things this way, as even newly constructed houses have narrow stairways and are still equipped with hoisting beams.
Until the 18th century, houses...
If you look to the right side here between the two buildings, we have the smallest house of Amsterdam.
Colorfully painted reference to the occupation, profession, or their family crest. For example, a butcher might have a picture of a lamb, a dentist might have a tooth, a miller, a windmill. Illiteracy was high, but such symbols were easy to understand.
As we ride along the canal, keep an eye out for game zones. There are more than 650 throughout the city. As you find them, you can challenge yourself by guessing what they might mean.
You may have noticed that most of the city's houses are made of brick. That's because bricks could be made locally. They were very porous compared to bricks of today, and had to be oiled, tarred, or painted to protect them against the weather. You'll only see stone on the facades of the wealthiest of homes, because it had to be imported, costing much more than brick.
For the shoppers among us, to the west or left of here is a unique shopping district called Nesse, or 9 little streets. Each street is a block long and full of quirky boutiques and specialty shops. It's a relaxing and fun place to explore.
Merit. Wat is dat? Als je er zo uitkomt.
Coming up on our left at numbers 170 and 172 is a beautiful 17th century red brick mansion with white sandstone accents. This is the Bartolotti House, designed by Hendrik de Keyser, Amsterdam's most famous architect of the time. It was built for a very successful beer brewer named Willem van de Heuvel. He changed his name to Bartolotti to honor an Italian relative who had left him a sizable inheritance. The facade has 2 inscribed panels that reflect Bartolotti's and many other 17th century businessmen's values. They read, through talent and diligence, and through pious business, and virtue.
Homes like Bartolani's were designed to showcase their owners' enormous riches, and yet, this was a time when Calvinistic views predominated. Calvinism is a form of Christianity that emphasizes themselves in conflict. Their religion required them to be humble, yet with finally trying to outdo each other.
Non, non, elle est dans l'autre rue.
Ja, die is niet zo schoon water.
Bah oui, c'est un truc emblématique quand même. Mais c'est ça que je merde de tout là. Je voulais tout la mettre là. On va partir en arrière, je pense.
Looking for something else authentically Amsterdam? Pay a visit to the Jordaan, a lively and well-known neighborhood not far from here, just west of the Prinsengracht. In the early 17th century, this neighborhood sprang up outside the city walls to house the growing population of poor laborers and immigrants who served the city's wealthy. Through the 19th century, the Jordaan continued to be a district for the industrial working class, known for its outspoken inhabitants, romantic relations, Amsterdam's most popular residential districts, crafts and trade, along with students and artists, and most recently, an influx of
The Jordaan has many charms. A
Jordaan,
bustling marketplace, cafes and shops. Through narrow cobblestone alleys and experience the lifestyle of true Amsterdammers today.
One more thing to note about the residents. If so much as a single ray of sunshine is out, expect to see others dragging their chairs around the street to soak it up.
Ещё.
That's interesting.
Nou, blijf je.
house numbers, look for Kaiserstrasse number 123, also known as the House with the Head. This beautiful Amsterdam Renaissance-style building of brick and sandstone is decorated with 6 beautifully sculpted heads. They're said to represent the Greek gods Apollo, Mars, Ceres, Minerva, Bacchus, and Diana. But legend has it that they symbolize the 6 thieves who once tried to break into the house. They were beheaded by a brave servant.
So we have a lot of trees next to the canals, as you can see. And why do you think we have these small trees? What happened? Yep, these little trees, baby trees. And that's mama tree. That's papa tree. Why are they small? Nobody likes to play a guessing game. Because we have, since not so many years, we have a lot of very strong storms in the summer. And in the summer, the trees are full with leaves, they're top heavy. So when there's a heavy storm, they break and they fall in the canals. So every little tree that you see, almost every little tree, some of them are maybe that they were sick, but most of the small trees that you see along the canals, it's because this, do you see the black what the houseboat has? This is because the tree fell on it, so the roof collapsed. And that little tree, that's a new tree, and just like this. So yeah, that's the reason. And why they can't handle the storm? Well, because they're top heavy also, but a lot of the tree stumps below, they're not so strong anymore because of all the dog pee of the dogs or the drunk tourists. So they get a little bit weak and then they collapse. So we only have one kind of tree. It's the Ipa called, I think it's a platan or the Ipa it's called. And it's only we can handle this tree because the roots, they grow straight down. They don't go to the sides, so they don't break our canal walls. The normal trees, they go to the sides and everywhere else. So here we have a very beautiful warehouse. It's called Greenland. Don't tell it to the United States. Maybe they're gonna wanna conquer it too. But it's called Greenland because do you see the Gablestone, Walvisstrand, Whale? This was the warehouse for the whaling company. So we had the VOC and we had the whaling company, and that were the 2 biggest companies in the world. And in the basement they still have the storage tanks for the whale blubber. Yeah, look, this is a dentist with chickens on his rooftop. Toka. And we had this whaling company here because it was very smelly and all the smelly things was around here, but the audio guide will tell you this. And to give you an idea of the craziness of the prices of the houses and the houseboats, this black houseboat on the left side, it's for sale. It's the most expensive houseboat per square meter at the moment in Amsterdam. You can buy it for around 3.34 million euros. Yeah, 3,325,000, I believe.
mais caras.
So this gives you a little bit an idea of the craziness of the prices in Amsterdam now. Yeah, and it's 124 square meters, so yeah. No, 26,000 per square meter more or less.
We are now approaching Brouwersgracht, or the Brewers Canal. This canal was part of the city's 17th century expansion. It connects the 3 main canals, the Herengracht, the Keizersgracht, and the Prinsengracht.
É o metro quadrado mais caro da Holanda.
It's now one of the most picturesque waterways in the city.
But that wasn't always the case. Many of the industries banned from residential areas ended up here. That included the smelly ones, like leather and whale oil processing. And of course, the beer brew, which gave the canal its name. People turned to beer as a safer, healthier drink.
tirar foto? Bem longe ela, né?
Mas não tem só ela, tem várias cidades.
Uhum.
We zijn bijna weer terug.
The Dutch have a passion for sports. Whether it's playing a friendly game of soccer or cheering for favorite athletes during a sporting event, we do it with enthusiasm.
Children are encouraged to hone their sports skills both in and out of school. Many secondary schools have state-of-the-art sports facilities, and some academic programs are even specifically designed for gifted athletes. With opportunities like these, it's no wonder that Dutch athletes tend to do very well in international sports competitions. For many years now, the Netherlands national soccer team has ranked among the 10 best in the world.
The Dutch have also won many of their competitions, especially long track speed skating, where we regularly outperform all other nations.
Luísa Maria. Esse pessoal aí tá.
A lot of work going on, as you can see in the city center. They're now building a pontoon because they're gonna renovate all these canal walls, and they already did to the left side over here. They do it on a new way now.
Vamos em alguma dessas ainda
we
hoje?
can do around. I don't know how much we can do now, but the average was around 3.5 kilometers per year. But they are busy with some new techniques now with renovating the canal walls, so maybe it's a little bit more. But what they did before, they would break down the whole canal walls and then they would build them up. They put concrete blocks and then they would build them up. But what they did now, maybe these walls were not so terrible. They put concrete blocks behind it and the walls are still okay, so now it's much faster. Why we need to do it? Because the only thing that prevents the canal from collapsing is a brick wall like this wide, 30, 40 centimeters wide, and that's the little bricks that you see over here, and that keeps the whole street from not collapsing. Amsterdam was built for horse and carriage, so with all the big trucks and the big cars, the beer brewers who with the 60,000 kilo beer things on top, because of all the vibration, 100 kilometers of canal walls are in a terrible shape and they need to be renovated. And they say it's going to take around 30 years and it's going to cost, they said it's going to cost 1.4 billion, but come on, we all know how politicians calculate, right? Not good. So probably it's gonna cost around 2.5 billion, 3 billion for a city that's already bankrupt because of all the megalomaniac project of our politicians from the last 20 years, more or less. So, but it's okay. You have to pay a lot of tourist tax now and all these kind of things. So thank you for visiting Amsterdam and paying for our canal wall.
Já faz hora que eu falei pra você ver. Porque você não pediu. Olha, aqui tem uma bicicleta bem florida. Tem várias, na verdade.
if we continue.
Nem parece que passou tão rápido assim. Ups. Ai, já foi 51 minutos de passeio.
Eu fui lourinha do cara.
Desculpa, filmou que eu tempo. Depois você corta. Já bem ali no prédio. Você não filmou a orelha do cara. Tava bem filmando, bem vermelho.
Central Station, the transportation hub of Amsterdam, is built on 3 artificial islands and is supported by around 8,600 wooden piles. The building was designed by 2 architects, Kuipers and Van Gent, and its front is really quite amazing. Made of red brick and white accents, it's a combination of Neo-Renaissance style and Neo-Gothic towers, and is called eclectic architecture.
So we have around 1.5 million cars and 9,000 bikes we can park downstairs here. Do you see all these people going up and down? Because below this water here, we have a big bike parking. And this bike parking took 4 years to build. They took down all the water from here. They found a lot of historical things also. That's nice. And after 4 years it's open now. So what you can do, if you go in the morning, when you go to your job, your girlfriend, your wife's boyfriend, whatever. And you park your bike, you can go through a tunnel. You go out steps up and there's a tunnel to the train station, to the bus station. This will go up and you can go walking. And if you come back in the night within 24 hours, it's free. You don't have to pay anything. It takes longer. 24 hours, €1.65 a day. So that's okay. 9,000 bike, the biggest bike park near the Central Station. Looks almost like the Rijksmuseum, Museum Square. And in the 2 towers, you see the left tower, this gives you the direction of the wind. And the right tower, this is the clock. This gives you the time. So, and what's also nice to know is that where we enter the city, so we're going to move to the right. And where you enter the boat, where you get off the boat, this is also part of the entrance to the Amstel River. So we've been on the Amsterdam River with the skinny bridge. That river would run all the way here. And if you want to know how wide it was as wide from the houses to the houses on the other side. That's how wide it was. And well, they built a dam at the Dam Square. So if you go to the Dam Square, if you stand in the middle of the Dam Square, that's the foundation house. And oh yeah, nice other fact is, this is the place here. This is where the salt water of the Southern Sea would meet the fresh water of the Amstel River. The Amstel River was fresh, and the main water used to be salt, and they would meet over here. So we are also at the end of the tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. That you love Amsterdam a little bit more now. I wish you a great stay in the most beautiful city of Europe. Thank you very much for cruising with us.
Tá só até ele estacionar então.
Yeah, and if you leave the boat, don't forget your personal belongings, okay? If you forget your personal belongings, too bad for you, you're not gonna get it back from me. You can go to the flea market tomorrow and try to buy it back for half the price, alright? So don't forget your personal belongings, please.
Abre que eu já vou tomar. Uma hora? Uma hora?
Não, pode deixar mais. Vai sair.
Tá bom. Uma hora. Ai, que frio. Ou uma orelha. O que você prefere? Ou uma orelha.
Não posso pensar.
Yeah, it's safe to leave the boat now. Watch your step when you get out of the boat. Goodbye.
Não, você tirou já?
Tirei. Tá comigo. Tem gracinha, né?
Ai, meu amor do céu, como é que
Bem melhor, tinha que ter ficado isso aqui antes.
É,
Ó. Altos bakes que antes feito.
É, até pra fora do barco. Ai,
Aqui, ó.
bem... Eu já tava com náusea. Tá com o celular no rio.
Pois é.
Eu sempre falo pra você ir gravar com o tripé aqui na minha estabilidade.
Ganhei, mas não é?
Você leva também? Tá comigo, pode deixar.
E kijk, als die soms open is, dan moet je ook.
agora.
De Roos, fietsstoortje buiten.
Deixa eu colocar minha bolsa.
Tá gravando aí?